Congratulations, everybody. Give yourself a big pat on the back because you have officially made it through to the last day of 2023. I am going to run you through my personal top 10 movies of 2023. Coming in at number 10 is The Flash. In this movie, you are eating member berries for movies that never even existed. There is no such thing as a Tim Burton directed Superman movie starring Nick Cage. You see it in this movie and you're like, aww, feeling all this nostalgia for something that never even existed. Number 9 is Joyride. This is directed by Adele Lim, who co-wrote Crazy Rich Asians, and the script is by Family Guy scribe Cherry Chiba Pravit Dumarong. Yeah, like this is got some really filthy jokes. It actually has the best joke I have heard in a film in like 2 years, and it's a Ninja Turtle reference. I was literally laughing out loud in the cinema. And very filthy, very funny, but also has a lot of heart too. Number 8 is Godzilla Minus One. It cost $15 million and looks like $100 million, but beyond all the monster movie stuff, it also really works as a metaphor for survivor's guilt, which is nothing that I would have thought I would ever say about a Godzilla movie. Go see this thing. It is amazing. 7 is Babylon. There was a lot of hate for this movie. It's like Damien Chazelle used all that goodwill that he had from La La Land and then just took it and made the most like debauched, ridiculous movie. Like a weird alternate take on Singing in the Rain. You know, it follows that same sort of plot line of the sound cinema coming in and how the silent actors cope with that. It's just a beautiful tribute to cinema. It's got a great earworm soundtrack and it is just over the top entertaining. Number 6 on the countdown is Pearl, and I cannot express in words just how much I love Mia Goth in this movie. She is amazing. And a little spoiler alert, this is not the last time she will appear on this list either. She does this epic dance sequence followed by a mental breakdown, followed by this intense confession scene that is just mesmerizing. It is the performance of the year. The only other acting performance that even comes close is that guy in the Maltesers ad. I just want to give a special honorary mention to this guy, Beau is Afraid, by Ari Aster of Midsommar and Hereditary fame. I had some high expectations going into Beau is Afraid. I can't say those expectations were met, but I can say it is one unique movie. It's like the film version of anxiety. Like if you have any kind of phobias about like somebody's sweat getting on you, just avoid, but don't avoid. It's something you have to experience. Number 5 on the list is Dungeons & Dragons Honor Among Thieves. Now, I am not unbiased in this. I am a huge Dungeons & Dragons fan, but I'm objectively terrible at the game. Like, I've been playing it for off and on 20 years, and I like forget the most basic rules, and oh my god, the level of anxiety I used to have about like counting up my dice. The thing I love about Dungeons & Dragons, yes, there's all the lore and the rules and that kind of stuff, and all that thing is important for people who love that, but there's also just a contingent of people who just love mucking around with their friends, rolling dice, paying each other out, having a good time, and that is absolutely captured in this film. For number 4 on the list, I am going with Barbenheimer. That is right, the Oppenheimer and Barbie double feature that wasn't an official double feature, but the internet turned it into a double feature. And I think the whole Barbenheimer phenomenon is something that we should really celebrate. It's just nice to see the internet come together over something, not pit these two movies against each other, but actually celebrate cinema. That we should go see these two wildly different movies and we should celebrate them both for what they are because they are both remarkable achievements. Oppenheimer is totally Chris Nolan's finest movie. It's a biopic, but it's cut like a thriller. Like, it moves at such a clip. Cillian Murphy, not Cillian. I think I've pronounced his name Cillian for like my entire life. Cillian Murphy is amazing as Oppenheimer. Emily Blunt. Oh my gosh, she is just fantastic. Florence Pugh, Robert Downey Jr., Dexter's dad. is in this movie, and he has like the most chilling line that you will probably hear in a film this year. It's a masterpiece, seriously. And then the other side of the coin is Barbie, which is also in its own way a masterpiece. The way it delivers a strong, powerful feminist message, but it does so in a way that makes you laugh. Like, as a male viewer, I was laughing at the way the chems are portrayed in the movie. I've certainly not mansplained The Godfather to somebody, but I've probably mansplained some other kind of movie. So it is a good, kind of fun way at looking at yourself. And America Ferrera's speech, like, oh my gosh, that had like applause in the cinema. So normally applause in the cinema are super cringe, but in this case, it was warranted and it was like a super feel-good moment. I feel like Barbie is absolutely a contender for Best Picture of the Year. It is a movie that has tapped into the public consciousness in a way that, we don't see too often nowadays. At number 3, we have Talk to Me, which is an amazing Australian horror movie out of Adelaide, directed by Danny and Michael Philippou. It's sort of distinctly Australian. It's really atmospheric. It's not overly reliant on jump scares. It's more just like brutal moments of savagery that will just shock you, and you will want to look away, but you can't look away. And there's this ingenious sort of plot device where you have a 90-second countdown, and you are in your head counting down those 90 seconds, and you are like, oh my God, don't go over the 90 seconds. And I just, you can't wait to see where these guys will go next with their careers. But what a debut. Oh my gosh. All right, I'm just switching positions so you can see the other side of the board. Number 2 on the list is another fantastic Aussie horror movie, The Royal Hotel. This is directed by Kitty Green, an Australian director. Now, her debut feature was The Assistant, which is like a Me Too era sort of dissection of what it's like to work in the film industry for a young woman. And that starred Julia Garner, who you probably also know from Ozark. So she's in this movie, plus Jessica Henwick is in this movie, who is in Daredevil, and she was in Game of Thrones, and I completely love her. She's amazing. But there's also like a fantastic Aussie cast. You've got Hugo Weaving, who is playing a role that he has never played before, but is so recognisably Australian that you have absolutely seen this character before. And Daniel Henschel, who was John Bunting in the Snowtown movie, he is in this movie, and he just will really creep you out. And again, it's just a character that you know, but it's one that just will really make you uncomfortable. The larrikin culture is, such a part of Australia that we identify with, and yeah, it's funny, and it's who we are to an extent, but there's also a very dark element of that culture. This movie really, really explores it to an uncomfortable level. And drum roll please, the number 1 movie for Dylan for 2023, and I told you she would be back, Mia Goth in Brandon Cronenberg's Infinity Pool. Now, I have refrained from swearing this whole video, trying to keep it PG, but this movie deserves an absolute what the fuck. I had no idea what I was getting in for when I pressed play on this thing. It was very dark, very intense, just a real mindfuck. Visually beautiful. There's like undulating waves and that kind of stuff, and then there's like this sort of hallucinatory like drug orgy. Oh my gosh, it's completely explicit. There is stuff in here that I would never thought I would see on like the binge streaming app. I was like, wow. There's an absolute like Lynchian vibe to this film. Like a Lynch movie, I can't explain what's going on. I have no idea what's going on, but I love it, and I love just thinking about what it could all mean. There's definitely like a level of sort of man's regression to savagery and, being emasculated, and just so much. Again, shout out to Mia Goth. She is just phenomenal in this role as well. She is my favorite actress. She is amazing, and she plays the femme fatale kind of role. And you know, there's a sort of a moment where she kind of turns from seductress to like this cruel, mocking kind of a vicious character that is just, oh my god, she just nails it so well. Not for the squeamish, but if you like dark, if you like twisted, if you like absolute what the fuckery, then this movie is a must see. That is my top 10 of 2023. If you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. I would love to know what you guys thought were your favorite movies of 2023. And that is a wrap.